Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. We got a bunch of news that I missed over the weekend and yesterday, so we're going to talk about that and everything going on in the world. Of course, I'm joined, as a typical Tuesday. I have TJ. Hello, TJ.
What's good, man?
How is your? You're on your weekend right now. So how's your weekend going?
Dude, it's going okay, except for the fact that I'm trying to shift my sleep schedule because tomorrow I go to graveyard, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. PST. And so I'm trying to sleep in, trying to stay up late, and I've been unsuccessful in doing so. And
Yeah.
so tonight needs to be a late one. But
Well, I'm
oh my
sorry
God,
to have awoken you. I know you were sleeping just before the show.
it's worth it for the content.
But we're gonna talk about some crazy stuff, and of course we're not. It's not just you and I today. We are joined by a third guest, first time appearing on the show. Hello, Nora. How's it going?
Hello. How are you?
Doing all right. How's your day going? How was your weekend?
Day is going okay. Better than the weekend.
Better than the weekend. Okay.
Better than the
Well,
weekend.
what's called my day is just getting started. I was fighting on Helldivers on Super Earth. That game's super fun. Look, guys, they invaded Super Earth. All right, like they're in the mega cities. We're fighting in the streets now. It's crazy. There's
Dude, you've been
skyscrapers. Like there's no other. It's a whole new map. It's crazy. But besides that, I have to go to work right after this, so that'll be fun. But besides that, I am off tomorrow, so the show will be at its regularly scheduled time. But let's say we get into some news. Now I'm not gonna jump right into the big story immediately, which is what I have in the thumbnail, the Epstein stuff. We're not gonna I gotta make everybody wait for that. Let's talk about what's going on with these Afrikaners that the Democrats are upset about. We have this clip from Marco Rubio. He just everyone's sharing this clip, and they're of course they have the words they use, like demolished. He demolished a Democrat Senator Tim Kaine over the persecuted South African refugees. And then let's see, he said, "You don't like the fact that they're white." So they're upset that Donald Trump's allowing these people to come over, and I don't know. I don't really care if they're actually being persecuted. If there's actually people being persecuted, I'm fine with them coming over legally. Like I've always been fine with that. So I don't really care. But it's funny. I want to see this clip. I haven't actually seen it yet.
Statutory phrase says you are entitled to entrance as a refugee if you demonstrate a well-justified fear of persecution.
No, you're not entitled.
So
you're
could
allowed.
you have a different standard based upon the color of somebody's skin? Would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not the one arguing that. Apparently, you are, because you don't
No,
like the fact that they're
I'm
white,
just
and that's why
asking
they're
you to
coming.
say that was
That's just the
statutory
United
phrase.
Okay, well that is kind of funny. Were you guys able to hear the clip?
It was
Yeah.
a little choppy, but I heard it. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it was a
I
little.
love the double
sorry.
standard.
No, yeah, I love the double standard, because I was looking into it, and there's so many articles where it's like they'll take comments from some of our elected officials and be like, oh, they called what's happening to the white Afrikaners a genocide, and it's like studies have shown that it's not actually a genocide, but it's like but they're still doing terrible things and taking land from people, and it's all racially motivated. So it's like if it's not a genocide, it doesn't matter, right? If they're still being persecuted.
Their
Yeah.
definition of genocide will change based upon if it's politically advantageous for them or not.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, just like depending on the country. I mean, the definition of mass shooting changes depending on country.
Right.
Depending on the situation, honestly, it's not even a country. It's each individual situation. It's whatever best fits their narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I love to see, or hate to see, I guess, but there's always and I'm not quite sure how to word it. It's like, well, you did it, so now we did it, so now we call you out on doing it when we did it because you called us out on, so you're the hypocrite. And it's like both sides are calling both sides a hypocrite. Does that make sense? Like, oh,
Yeah.
Trump allows all these white people to come in, so he's a hypocrite because he wouldn't let other refugees in. But
It's
then,
an eye for an
right,
eye.
but then
And then
the
they
right
blame
is
each other
also-
for it.
Yeah, the right's also calling the left hypocrites because they said that they wanted people to come in, and then when the Trump administration brings people in, they say that they're against it.
Well, I mean, are you guys fine with white Afrikaners coming here? Like, do you guys feel like they're at a level of persecution in which they should be allowed to come here if they request it?
Yeah. I'm sorry. And it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you are in your home country, no matter what country in the world, if you are targeted for a specific reason and they're coming in and they're annihilating your whole entire family in an extremely brutal manner and lighting your house and your farms on fire, yeah, I say there's a risk for your safety. And, that's what this program is for, is to help people who are in danger. It doesn't matter if it's a mass annihilation or if it's just targeted. I don't care what color of skin you are. This is what the program's for.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that these people are following the legal process to obtain this refugee status. Like a lot of people that are coming in from the southern border, they get caught and then they, make their asylum claim or what have you. And there's a difference. There's a difference between waiting at the front gates to be let in and crossing illegally to, you know,
Well,
to
the
get through the
issue,
technicality.
the biggest issue right now, honestly, is that there was a church program that's been doing this for over 40 years without any kind of qualms, nothing. And next thing you know, it's just because these white Afrikaners are trying to come in that they're like, oh, no, 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 no. And they're trying to shut it down. And that's where I'm like, wait a minute, this is political. This is unacceptable. Goes against what you guys and the program are for. And especially because it's a church group. Really?
Well,
Stop.
and I mean, I agree with Marco Rubio here. Like, they're literally, you just don't like the fact that they're white. Like, they're making it a
Yeah.
racial thing for no reason. We have long accepted persecuted people of all color, all race, right? And now all of a sudden we start accepting white Afrikaners from South Africa, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why you guys are complaining about immigrants and blah blah blah? Why are you letting these guys in? And it's like you literally only are complaining because they're white. If we started bringing in a bunch of black people from South Africa, then all the Democrats wouldn't say a peep. There would be no peep about it. It's literally just because they're white.
I think I
Yeah.
can see the reason why they're framing it with, the administration trying to put, trying to enact deportations and trying to put restrictions on, immigration or whatever. So I can kind of see how they would frame it that way, but these people are just looking at it at the surface level. They aren't looking at the nuance, and they're just sticking with the, oh, it's because they're white narrative, because that's really all they know. The whole racial aspect is all they really can latch onto.
Yeah. Well, it's called. Yeah, I just wanted to bring this up real quick because I know a lot of people are talking about this, and it's like, yeah, I don't care if like, because I've been talking about this for a little bit. I bring up people, I bring it up to people like, hey, do you know white people in Africa? They have their property physically taken from them. They get dragged to the streets, like all kinds of stuff. Just based off their race. You have politicians. They chant songs that like "kill the Boer," which is like basically kill the white person.
Yeah.
And they have actual like high level political officials chanting this sort of thing. So you want to talk about persecution? Like that's outright blatant persecution. And it's crazy to me that they're upset we're we're saving these people. Like it's weird.
Right.
Now,
What's the alternative? Like, do we just say sorry, you can't come in, and then watch them die?
Yeah, we just wait for them to have their
Pretty much,
property taken because there's sorry, Nora, there's been interviews from these people to come over, and they're like, we don't want to come over here. We had property, we had farmland back home, but we were forced to come here.
Yeah.
Either we don't help them, or what happens if we don't help them is they will literally die, or they will leave and try to go somewhere else where they're safe. Here is literally the safest option, and they were going through a church, which is even more disgusting, that a church is turning them away because of the color of their skin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. But nothing ever surprises me in politics. I hung out with a buddy. We went fishing over the weekend. We didn't catch anything, unfortunately, but it was nice to hang out. But I was telling him just some of the like recent news stories we had, and he's like, "Man, this is why I don't listen to politics." I'm like, "But that's why I listen to politics, because you never know what you're gonna get." Like stories like this, like it's just so ridiculous. Never in a million years would I be thought I'd be sitting here talking about how they don't like how white refugees just came into the country. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that's why I like talking about politics, because it's always interesting, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's beneficial to talk about politics because, it allows you to either mentally or physically prepare for, the circumstances that can come upon you. You know what I mean?
I just like, I like being informed, especially living in California. You never know what people in California are trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there are other clips. Let's see. Oh, we have this other clip. We can react to this one from Rubio again. Let's see. Let me close out of this one. I gotta find the clip. That's what they need to do next, is make it easier to pull up clips that I want to share. There we go. Okay. So Rubio again. He's talking to Chris Van Hollen, which is the guy went and saw what's his name, Abrego Garcia, had margaritas with him. So here's a clip of him roasting him on that. So it's a 4-minute clip, but we'll watch some of it. Very quiet. What the fuck?
I yield back. Can I respond?
I can't make it
You
louder.
may.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me comes from doing a good job. Based on what I know.
Well, that's
Your
a
record
flippant
of what you
statement.
did. Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
Okay, so it's really quiet, but what he just said there was, I guess Chris Van Hollen said he regretted voting for Rubio, and he said, if you regret voting for me, then that means I'm doing my job right.
Love it.
Yeah. It's can you guys even hear it? Like, or is it just quiet on my end?
It's kind of
No, it's quiet.
It is quiet. Okay, I don't know. What the fuck, Nick Sortor? Come on, bro. Normally he's got the good clips. It's fine. It's just Rubio talking about how ridiculous these people are, and he's making fun of them. Let's see. I want to talk about the story from the Pope. What?
I said it like his response kind of sounds like, "Did you forget that you're the enemy?"
Yeah, right.
The only reason you voted for me is because you couldn't vote against me because
We're here to drain you from the swamp. Did you forget that?
Yeah.
We're here to expose you.
So I don't really care about the Catholic Church or anything like that, but I do like seeing religious leaders come out and affirm reality. Pope Leo says family based on the union between a man and a woman, and he also defends the dignity of the unborn. So basically, he came out in a recent statement basically saying that a family is with a man and a woman, not, same, basically coming out against same-sex families. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting to see him take this stance because when he first got what's the phrase for the Pope being selected? We'll say selected. When he first got selected, you would see all the people being like, "Oh, he's anti-Trump and anti-MAGA, so like we love this new Pope and the Republicans are going to absolutely hate him." And then he comes out now and is saying some things that are more in line with right-leaning beliefs. It's interesting to just see the truth come out after the lie was spread around the world.
Well, yeah, I've said I've said it before. I don't agree with say like people could be together. I don't care who they're with, but calling it a marriage, that's a religious term, and it has a definition. It's for men and women to get together. It's not like I like saying the joke. It's cultural appropriation to say that you guys got married when you're gay. Like that's not right.
It's a fair point. Like I think there could be a different word for it that basically
Germany doesn't refer to them as married. They call them life partners.
Yeah, they call them partners. They call it a union.
Union. That's perfectly fine. It's not a marriage. My whole point, because I'm not religious, I don't care at the end of the day, but I want to make sure we're using the proper words with the proper definitions. Right. And marriage is the union of a man and a woman. So any other union besides that it's a different thing, which is fine.
See, but the legal term is married. And that's where people are getting, it's not necessarily the religious side of it, but it's the people want to be able to have the same benefits. They want to be able to have the same tax write-offs as,
that's fair.
And that's the thing, is it's not necessarily a religious definition, but it is what the legal definition currently is. So if everybody who has a hiccup with the actual legal term, maybe the term should be amended, or add that in there where the civil union of those couples are included. I think people would stop being so nitpicky.
Right. Yeah. And I agree that like they should have the same benefits as far as like the government is concerned, but the term can still be reserved in the religious
for
sense.
a religious sense. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not even religious and I'm fine with that.
And how is that such a simple solution, and yet like
Because
people
it's
can't
an
have that
outrage. How
conversation?
dare you not give me the same as somebody else? That's it. It's just their whole exploding point. It is literally what will drive the narrative and make it where it's an outrage point.
Yeah, and it brings voters in too. If you can,
Yeah.
you know, the
If
Republicans
you
want to
can
make it so that
spark
gay
an
people.
emotion in somebody with the spark of outrage, you can drive them to the polls.
Yep,
Uh,
100%.
so I'm trying to find. Mad Stork just sent me some breaking news. I'm trying to find see if we can get a video.
Jamie, pulling it up.
Yeah, Mad Stork, if you're watching, you should like send me a link, brother. Let's see.
What's up?
Okay, so what I guess him and Hegseth are having a press conference right now, and they're talking about making basically an upgraded version of Israel's Iron Dome, but it's going to be
Yeah.
for the United States, and it's going to be for ICBMs.
Yeah, the
I
Golden
told you
Dome.
that. They were updating the missile defense system.
Oh yeah, you did send me that in the messages, huh? I need to find an article on it though.
Benny Johnson.
Benny Johnson?
Benny Johnson.
on
He's
X?
doing it right now.
On X.
Oh,
Yeah.
what he's like
Or
live
on
streaming?
X, on Rumble. I was watching him on Rumble. He had the live coverage going before I popped on here.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Oh wait, it says he's live. Where do I watch him live?
Rumble.
Oh, there we go.
Tyler, what has my solution been to keep the military-industrial complex fed without like funding foreign wars?
Part of it, which be
What?
It's
fair,
give an Iron Dome to everybody.
but
Iron
we'll
Dome to everybody.
work with them on pricing,
Ground.
dealing with them on
First,
pricing. They know about it.
Then
very
they'll
much. They've
just
asked
come
to
up with
be
other
part of it,
weapons.
actually.
Fair.
They've asked us to be a part of it. I think it's something that is great. If you can afford to do it, we can afford to do it. You know, we took in $5.1 trillion in the last 4 days in the Middle East.
You just say last 4
And when you
days?
think about it, this is a tiny fraction of that.
Yep.
But we make it all here. We're going to make it all here. We have, when I will tell you, an adversary told me, a very big adversary told me the most brilliant people in the world are Silicon Valley. He said, we cannot duplicate, and we can't. This was somebody that I won't tell you who it is, but you'd be amazed. We have the most brilliant minds in the world doing this kind of
Okay,
thing. The
that's enough.
equipment is-
Yeah, so
no,
I mean,
it's going to be gold.
it's gonna be gold. Is the golden
It's
dome?
not going to be an iron dome. It's going to be a golden dome.
I want the diamond dome. Where's my diamond dome?
Well,
Wait, no, can we
because
get the
it's gotta
Dimmadome
be
dome of the
gold,
Dimsdale Dimmadome?
But no, it's got to be gold to fit Trump because he's got a golden
Yeah.
toilet. And then
Well,
it's
yeah,
also
just like his,
because we're going into the golden age of America, so
and his
everything
golden
has to be
visas.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would fit the Trump theme for sure. To leave us with the golden dome.
Watch the left be like, Trump literally thinks that they're going to build a golden
He
dome
wanted to-
over the entire top of the United States. It's too much area. We don't have that much gold.
No, I got it, TJ. He wanted to build a wall on the southern border and he couldn't, so now he's building a dome over the whole U.S.
Exactly.
You're like, okay. Anyway, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
here's my question.
obviously, great idea. If we're gonna build it here, it sounds great. Sounds like a lot of jobs. Cool.
Yeah.
Great news.
Yep.
Well, so I don't know if it's a whole lot of jobs. It seems like, just sending money to the military industrial complex. But at the same time, why haven't we had an Iron Dome or a Golden Dome
In the
this
first
whole
place.
time? Like, I mean, I feel like we had to have had some level of like missile defense.
Oh, we do. I mean, Russia's been purposefully creating technology to counter our countermeasures. I've talked about it with my friends before. They literally have countermeasures that follow behind the ICBMs, and it can take out like multiple different like interceptions.
Yep.
Oh wow!
And it literally, its whole purpose is to follow their ICBM and take out anything that would stop it. So it's
And
they've
Russia
been
keeps
working on it.
pressing. Yeah, and Russia keeps pressing. The last time that they flew into Alaska airspace was last month,
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Well, I
they
mean,
had 6 of them.
they come into our waters a lot too.
Oh God,
So-
yeah.
But anyway, what other story do I want to bring up? Was there anything else on the Pope before we move on to another story? Because I wanted to talk about that real quick.
I think I made my piece clear that I just think
we,
it's
we made our points on that. All right.
yeah.
Let's see. Let me close these out. So while I was looking for some news, while we were chatting just now, I want to bring up this article. I haven't read it. I read the first little bit of it, first like paragraph. So the Prime Minister Netanyahu said yesterday that Israel is going to take control of all of Gaza. Isn't that lovely, guys? Don't we just love when the war doesn't de-escalate?
Right.
This is ridiculous. I have another tweet I'll pull up. But it seems like Donald Trump is getting fed up with it. People close to Donald Trump are reporting that he's been looking at a lot of images of children in Gaza, and he's getting fed up with it. Reportedly he's telling Netanyahu to wrap up the war, but Netanyahu, I don't think he's gonna fucking listen.
No, but he's gonna jeopardize the Abraham Accords if he doesn't, because Israel has everything to gain right now and everything to lose if they don't stop this.
I mean,
Because I honestly don't think that Trump's going to just sit by and let Israel get all the benefits of every other country and continue this crap.
yeah. I mean, we've seen Donald Trump. I mean, just over the weekend, he went to what was it, Saudi Arabia, right? He's been going to like all these different countries trying to make peace with everybody. You brought up when we were messaging earlier, Nora. He's setting up meetings in for Ukraine and Russia, I believe, in Turkey. I was the
He
area
just got
there.
off the phone with them literally a couple hours ago. He is in
good.
the middle of a negotiation to stop the war.
Didn't Zelensky show up to Turkey, and both Trump and Putin didn't show up? And so that was almost like
was that a story? I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
I think that's the way that it played out. They were all supposed to meet up, and because there was that interview where Trump was on the plane during his trip to Saudi Arabia, and reporters were like, "Oh, are you going to go to Turkey?" And he's like, "I'm not sure if I'm going to Turkey. Like, I might, but I."
To be fair, like I don't think it's smart to have those three in the same place.
Not right now, no.
It would be the equivalent of Trump walking into the DMZ of North Korea or whatever. Like,
well, just think about it, like there's a lot of people in the world that would love to see Putin and Trump gone. So it's like, oh, both in the same place. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
well, and I know that Carolyn Levitt came out yesterday during her press conference, and she flat out said that he was going to sit down and have a conversation on the phone with Putin first, and then right after he was scheduled to have a phone call with Zelensky. So he is in a back and forth with these guys actively.
Yeah, but I've been talking a lot recently about the Israel stuff, and it doesn't seem like there's gonna be any de-escalation. Israel, or at least Netanyahu, is not interested in de-escalation. And I've said it before. The only way that whole situation gets resolved is if you fix what's going on in Gaza, and you fix whatever's going on with Israel. You have to fix both places. You can't fix one and not the other. It's just going to cause more issues.
Back off. Honestly,
Israel does need to back off.
I think Netanyahu needs to be impeached or overthrown, or however it works over there. He needs to go away.
He needs to stop pushing. They need to stop trying to expand their territory. Gaza needs to stop launching terrorist attacks. But like I've said multiple times, can you really blame them when?
No.
I mean, think about how many people are actually are just straight up just children over there. You see your whole family get murdered by the country next to you, and you grow up just knowing that your whole life. Are you not going to be a little radical? Like, it's ridiculous to think otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, Tim's song "Will of the People." Have you ever seen the ending where it just sits there and it rotates over and over, and it's like it's a never-ending cycle. You have to break the cycle.
Melted joined at a very opportunistic time. Hi, Melted. We're not talking about anything controversial at all.
Of course not. Of course not. Why is my camera not working? 1 second.
Melted will be with us in just a moment once he figures out how to turn on a camera.
So one quick thing on the fact that Israel needs to pump the brakes. Dave Smith has been bringing up an interesting concept recently, and he's been saying that when you have two different goals, and there's a moment of contention between the two, you'll see which one of those goals you want more. And it sounds like Gaza was saying, yeah, we'll give back all of the hostages, but we want a permanent ceasefire. Like, you are done bombing us and whatnot. And Netanyahu's response was, no, we are going to end Hamas. And so if the goal was to secure the hostages and bring, quote unquote, bring peace to the area, well, that option is on the table, but he doesn't want that. So his actual goal is to just get rid of Hamas completely, either take control of Gaza or get rid of Hamas.
Well, Melted, welcome to the show. As you see on screen here, we're talking about how Netanyahu just said yesterday that he wants to take control of all of Gaza still.
Well, I'm just going to say Netanyahu is the most correct person that I've ever met in my life. And he does everything correctly, everything that he's ever done. Also, my wallet's getting fatter too, as I said.
I was going to say, where's that?
Yeah.
All right, Pinocchio.
Ching.
But yeah, I mean, what else can we say? It's ridiculous. Donald Trump's trying to stop all these different wars that we have going on, but you have people like Netanyahu just they don't seem like they they want it to stop. So I don't know.
I don't know. We talked with Phil Levanti talked about this on the cast that remains the other day, or Phil cast. It was like 2 weeks ago. He talked about how Netanyahu's trying to set up deals with Libya to bring ships over to pick up all the Palestinians and get them out and bring them over to Libya. So that way that he could take over all of the Gaza Strip and turn that into the new Vegas Strip of the Middle East, bro.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Like I said, they don't. He doesn't want the war to stop. They don't want it to stop.
No, he wants it. He wants it to stop, but he wants to
them
win. All gone. He wants them all gone.
No, I agree. It's ridiculous, and if they keep going the way they're going, Netanyahu very likely will drag us into conflict that we don't want. So, it's ridiculous.
That's the saddest part is that
He needs to stop.
This is a battle between. Am I like super low on the mic or am I pretty good?
You're good.
This is like this is
you're good.
It's sad. This is like two sides I very much do not care for, and I'm siding. I never thought I would side with Muslims about situations like this, and yet here I am wishing Netanyahu would stop trying to kill these Palestinians, but I'm also hoping that these Palestinians stop trying to launch shit into Israel.
Well, that's what I was just saying right before you joined, Melted.
Wrongs
I mean,
don't make a right.
Absolutely. And what I was saying before you joined, Melted, is like when they even said it at the start of this war. Like over 40% of Gaza is there are children under the age of 16, and or I think it was younger than that. But anyway, it's still children. So like your whole family gets murdered by the country next to you, and then you grow up just knowing that your entire life, and they're still just constantly bombarding where you live. Like, do you not think you're going to grow up and be a little bit radical?
I do want to say they may be under the age of 16, but in situations like that, you grow up fast, and the army will see you as a military aged male at the age of 14. If you're able to carry a gun, bro, the military is going to see you as a hostile, and
it's 100% true. I'm just saying, from their perspective, because they absolutely need to stop attacking Israel. But I mean, what else can they do when Israel just keeps trying to expand and aggress upon them too? Because because the people that I argue with that are like just 100% pro-Palestine or 100% pro-Israel, what I always tell them is like, look, everyone has a right to defend themselves. So
yeah,
if Israel gets attacked, defend yourself. If Gaza's getting attacked, they can defend themselves. Like, I'm sorry.
And to be 100% clear here, just because in World War II we made a treaty, this is the Holy Land. Treaties don't mean shit, bro. When you go to war, treaties don't mean crap, dude.
That's why I love when people talk about war crimes, because it's like, what's a war crime when you're
what are you
going to do to your enemy that's committing war crimes when you're literally at war currently?
Yeah, exactly.
That's something you solve after the fact, but that's only if you win.
That's when you have trials.
So here's a concept that I've been throwing around since the time that the Ukraine-Russia war just sort of broke out, and it's that the borders of countries have been expanded or have recessed for as long as humans have been ruling the earth, and I'm curious at what time the world just said, okay, this map that we have right here, this is the way it is, this is the way it always will be, and all borders are going to stay exactly where they're at. Like while we see all of this hostility or whatever going on, and it's damaging, people are dying, and it's terrible, war is terrible. Like this, like all of this is nothing new. This is the way that the world has always worked.
So
And so how do you stop something that's been going on for millennia?
so
Well, that's the thing. It's stopping this vicious cycle of violence.
the
It's just like any cycle. You have to be the one to stop it. And there is a problem. How do you stop it?
And I feel like Trump is like has a solution on how to stop it. Like he's going through all of these like trade deals to basically bring upon world peace, if you can go that far to say it. But everyone is still stuck in the old ways of we use force and destruction and war to get what we want instead of the we use negotiations and trade and cooperation to get what we want.
well, the thing that you're saying about who, like, when did we decide that these maps
Yeah,
are, that was something. It's never been decided, dude. The maps are constantly changing with who owns what land. If you look at China, dude, if we went to VPN to China right now and I showed you a map of what China thinks the world is, they have Taiwan, they have part of India, they have part of Pakistan, they have parts of Africa. Like, China says that they own a bunch of these land that they do not own according to the UN.
that's crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
technically,
And
they do own them now because they would give them extremely high interest loans
they
and they can't pay them back. So, what they do in order to pay back those high interest loans is they give them the land. So, technically, legally, they do own it. They do it in Angola all the damn time.
Confessions of an Economic Hitman,
Uh huh.
same methodology. Yeah,
well the
Yeah.
the
China's
thing
doing it. So, by law, they legally own the land.
well by whose law?
The
Because
laws of those countries.
Wait,
yeah,
wait. So
Angola has flat out admitted that China owns a lot of land there because China came in for development, gave them high interest loans. They weren't able to pay back on the loans, so they defaulted. And because they defaulted on those loans, China's like, okay, well, make up the debt to us, just give us the land.
But
wait,
what Melton's saying though is like if the same thing were to happen with China and the United States, we're not gonna as the United States gonna be like, oh, you just own the land now and forever, and then like if a conflict breaks out, we're like, oh, they own the land illegally. No, we would take it.
okay, wait, we're gonna
Yeah,
look up
well,
here real quick. So are you saying China's laws they own the land, or by UN's laws they own the land?
by Angola's laws,
By Angola, okay.
because
we,
they
we
defaulted on
agree.
their own
Is
law.
is and is
They defaulted
Angola
on their own loan.
is Angola a part of the UN?
I don't know.
I don't remember off the
Because
top of my head.
if segregation, I need to look this up. If segregation is against the laws of UN, against humanitarian laws, then technically what China is doing would be illegal according to the UN. Because what they do is they go to these places and then they build up the infrastructure and everything, and then they only say Chinese people can use them. So technically, that would probably be against the law. If it just depends with how UN sees. Let me look here.
So does the UN get to dictate where the borders are at? So when I asked the question of at what point did we say these are the borders and this is where they stay, was it once the UN was established and they became the authority on who
No, because
say what borders
Czechoslovakia
are?
broke apart in the 90s.
Yep, it's always been changing, bro. Always, and then you even sooner, bro, is South Sudan. South Sudan didn't become a country like in the last like what 15 years.
But the narrative by like
Yeah.
the narrative by the people who are very pro-Ukrainian is that Russia is trying to take land and that's Ukrainian land and they can't take it. Well, if it's the way that it always happened, then their argument is almost invalid. But if it, but because they're able to express the narrative that hey, this is not okay because this is where their border stops, means that there's something in the zeitgeist that say that borders cannot change.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
it's never been a thing.
yeah,
Never.
the only way that we have borders set in stone like that, and even then it wouldn't work, as if we had a one world government, and even then, states would argue with each other and get into conflict over who has access to what resource.
At that point, it wouldn't matter if we had that
Mhm.
world government because it wouldn't be states or anything like that. It'd be one unit. It'd all be owned by the people.
What I meant
by
is
the
like
world.
regions or like
Yeah.
companies or private citizens, depending. There would still be conflict. Point being, because everything is always about access to resources. It's always who has access to what. The whole reason Russia went into Ukraine was because they wanted access to the Black Sea, and they wanted that warm water port. So it's like it's all about access. It's all about access. It's all about resources. And if people can't get it, conflict breaks out. So I don't think borders are ever going to be set in stone, unless again we have like a one world government. But that sounds nightmarish too. So,
but my argument is that
Yeah.
people are saying that that a large amount of people are saying that borders are set in stone. Like, even though we all here agree that they're not, that the narrative is that they are, and so anyone who's trying to encroach on borders in any way, shape, or form is the evil one.
Who believes that?
Borders should be respected, but they can change.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Borders can be, borders should be respected, but they're always subject to change.
Yeah, what I was going to say, TJ, is I've never heard people say that borders are just set in stone, but I have heard people say that borders don't exist. So I would take that opinion with equal weight.
Sure.
Yeah. But here, let me just. So when do you think the last war that changed hands of land that America was not involved with was?
China and Taiwan. No.
No, that's going on right now. Then America is involved with that.
We could say
I don't remember if we were involved with Czechoslovakia splitting or not.
No, that's sooner than that.
My answer was
nope. We were involved with Crimea. We were involved with Crimea as much.
Venezuela?
No, not Venezuela.
What's the answer?
It is.
I feel like
in 2005, the North and South conflict of Sudan. Sudan split in two in 2011 when the peace treaty was signed. It was a civil war from 2005 to 2011, where it was finally split with the peace treaties.
That's right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's when South Sudan was made, and that became I believe that is the newest country in the world, and also one of the poorest countries in Africa.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And Nora, I don't know if you actually knew the name or not, but yes, it is called the Golden Dome Defense System.
Yes, I did. That's why I was like, I've watched it.
That's
why I was like, it's called the Golden Dome. Yeah, I got excited about it.
Why are we calling it the Golden Dome, bro? It should be like the Platinum
because
Dome.
It's the Golden
That's
Age of
I want the Diamond Dome.
I want the gold.
I want the Doug's Dimmadome with the Dimmadale Dimmadome.
Dude, I said that on Nightcap, bro. I was like, what do you call this? The Doug'sdale Dimmadome. Home of the Doug'sdale Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Ian's gonna go, no, graphene.
Where's the graphene dome?
Graphene dome.
I mean, like Nora was saying right before you joined, Melted, because we were talking about it shortly before you joined. It's Trump's whole theme. Like, he did the golden visas or whatever, right? Like, his whole thing is golden this, golden that. Wasn't he one of the first people to get a golden toilet? Like,
dude,
yes.
He has a fake Ark of the Covenant, bro, at Mar-a-Lago.
Dude, we should have Donald Trump. Donald Trump should make a government. Or like taxpayer funded monument called the Ark of the Government, and it's literally just just a giant paper shredder.
Yeah. Well, it's funny though, because like now that you guys are saying like it's all about gold, that just reminds me of the scene from Austin Powers where it's like, I love gold.
Yeah.
Oh, my dinky is a key made of gold.
Look, that guy was weird. All right, he ate his own skin flakes. All right.
Hey, bro,
did you just call it a dinky?
That's what he called it. Okay. My dinky is made of gold, and it's a key.
Yeah.
Those movies were phenomenal, by the way.
They don't make them like they used to, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That movie made he powers it.
Apparently, he's getting mixed up in this Diddy stuff.
Is he?
Sad.
What?
way, bro. I love
Yes,
Mike Myers,
apparently they
bro.
brought up his name in the Diddy stuff, and I haven't heard anything more besides they
Word.
brought his name up, and I'm like,
I
"Aw,
mean,
what'd you do?"
it could be nothing though. Like they did that with Epstein. Like people's names get brought up, and it's
I
like, oh,
hope
was he
it's
around Epstein,
nothing.
or was he actually doing things with Epstein?
Here, let me read this. Let me see. What we see here. This is important, bro. Mike Myers is
I know, but still, it's one of
fuck.
those things. I'm hoping.
What do you got, Melted?
It was freaking USA Today trying to get me to disable my ad block.
It made me so sad.
We have other stories to get into while Melted's looking for that, and then so I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but obviously everybody's been talking about it over the weekend. Biden, obviously, I'm sure you guys already know what I'm going to say. He was diagnosed with cancer, as if this was a big shock to everybody. He's an old man with cancer. Who would have guessed? This just goes to show again that we knew his health was in decline. And everyone's been talking about how you don't just find stage 4, cancer that's spread to your bones. Like that's been there a minute. So
It's
Okay.
like a 2% chance that happens.
So during jury selection, potential jurors were questioned about their knowledge of celebrities like Kanye West, Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, Kid Cudi. It's there. I don't think it's it's probably them trying to figure. So they might.
Exactly. It hasn't come out any further.
That's all I saw. It was on people.com 2 days ago. But I don't. Just because they're asking jurors, that might just be like he might be brought up for witness testimony.
Yeah.
So he might be a witness to it. Might not have been involved. Might just be a witness.
Well, they were saying Bieber might be involved in the
He
Diddy
is.
stuff too.
He is. He was. Yeah. How do you think
Yes.
How do you think that poor 16-year-old boy got all that money from Baby?
Got all famous.
Yeah, dude.
That's right.
There's a lot of stuff.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Justin Bieber, and like if you go back and watch the
Oh yeah,
videos,
him acting out.
it's bad.
Well, there's a video where like Diddy comes up and he's like almost like patting him down for a wire or something like that.
Mhm.
It's a creepy sort of video.
Well, if you go back, there was an interview. I think one time me and Based were talking about it, and it was we watched it during the interview. It's like this is when he's like 15, 14, right? And these old women in this interview are like they're like gooning over him, dude. They're like, "Oh my god, he's so cute and handsome. I would just eat him up." He's just like it's on the weirder side, like like touching his shoulder,
Oh my
like
God,
getting
it's
close to
creepy.
him.
You could see a level of like discomfort in his face too.
Yeah, it's bad.
So here,
No, the one video that really gets me is where Diddy's talking to him, going, "Well, why aren't you coming around?" And he's like, and he's trying to back up, and he's like, "Because I've been busy." And Diddy is just coming hard on him and like touching him, and you can physically see him starting to pull away. And it's a 14-year-old kid doesn't do that kind of stuff to their mentor unless something happened.
Yeah.
and then before the show, Nora was telling me about the story with Candace Owens and Harvey Weinstein, or it's Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
I guess she actually got an interview with him while he's in prison, and here's a short clip.
Yep.
That I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna play it live. If it gets me knocked off YouTube, then oopsie, oh well. Let's see it. Mute.
I swear that before God and the people watching that.
Wait, let me restart.
I did not commit these crimes. I swear that before God and the people watching now and on my family. The people who support me are scared to talk. They are frightened to death that they're going to be canceled.
What I always found to be problematic about the Me Too movement from the beginning, we're conflating he made a pass at me and I didn't like it with rape.
It's a complete fabrication about my relationship with Gwyneth. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made a pass. Ashley Judd's claims are ridiculous. I settled with Rose McGowan. I gave her $100,000. Don't tell my wife. Don't get me in trouble. It's all conflated, and it's all led to the idea that I am going to be the one they persecute. They broke me. They broke me in half.
There's just so much when you read the transcripts that defy common sense for me.
I've asked to have lie detector tests brought into the prison. So I know they're not admissible, but I want the world to know.
To be honest with you, I think a lot of people are going to hear this conversation.
Candace, you know, one thing I can tell you is this is going to explode.
Yeah, just like he did all over those girls.
So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I know very little about the Harvey Weinstein stuff. I never really looked into it when it was all going down. I just know he was a big Hollywood guy and he's being creepy with women. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
I know a good amount. I know that he definitely was doing some weird shit. He was definitely jerking it. I think he was doing like some stuff that what was that comedian that got in trouble for jerking it? Like
Bill Burr?
Louis
no, it was
C.K.
not Bill Burr.
Oh,
It was Louis C.K.
Too.
Yeah, if Bill
Louis
Burr
CK.
did that, you think Bill Burr would still be like, "Oh yeah, let's kill all these government officials"? Like right now, how he is, like he would definitely be like, "Oh no," he'd be talking about
He's
that
been
stuff.
quiet. He's been quiet for a few weeks. We'll see if we get another
Yeah,
Bill Burr clip soon.
I bet you it's because Joe Rogan like told him like, "Bro, you better shut your mouth before I start talking about you on my podcast, bro, for being a dumbass."
Right. But no, I mean, so I'm gonna have to watch. I'm assuming you're gonna have to watch this interview then, Melted, if you feel so strongly about this, right?
I think this dude is a sleazebag. I think he's a scumbag. He talks about how he talks about how he paid that one chick out so his wife didn't get told. I think he's done some scummy shit, and I think he's trying to not get the chair right now. I think that's his goal. I think if some Epstein stuff comes out and shit, I think there's a possibility he's involved.
You think he's at
here's
some
the
level
thing,
of that?
is some of the
Go ahead, Nora.
Well, yes, he is a scumbag, and he's even admitted that he's a scumbag. He has admitted, he's like, look, I've done some wrong things. I am paying for the consequences of those actions, but there are some allegations that are being brought against him that he flat out says that he didn't do. And if a man is going to flat out admit to all the adultery, all the just debauchery that he has done, and he goes, I didn't do that, I tend to believe just a little bit. Give him some of the facts that have come out. Like Candace said, the court transcripts. One of the things that I even looked it up myself because I didn't quite believe it. In the 90s, he got gangrene, so his ball sack had to be removed, and so his testicles are on each side of his thighs. So one of the one of the ladies who comes forward and is saying that she was sexually assaulted, she's describing his genitalia with a ball sack that is not there and has not been there for like almost 30 years now. There is an issue, and there's discrepancies, and there's one of the things that she's claiming is that he came to her hotel and banged on her door, and she opened it, and she doesn't know why she opened it, and then he forcibly put himself upon her when he has records stating that he wasn't even anywhere near her place. And her testimony, it comes into question of a fire alarm got pulled at the hotel that she was supposedly at. But if she doesn't remember the fire alarm not going off at the supposed time of this, rape or graping, so I don't understand. Things are not adding up. And if they don't add up and they're not right, then I'm sorry. He shouldn't be persecuted and prosecuted for things that he didn't commit. Yes, get him for all the other crap, but if he didn't do it, he didn't do it.
Well, that's kind of where I stand too, is that don't he shouldn't be overcharged. Like, the truth is what matters, and if he did certain things and there is are laws against him doing those things, then charge him for those laws that he broke. But don't charge a person for something that didn't actually happen.
So I would say that everything that's been brought up against him, there's definitely stuff he did do that I don't think has been released, but there's definitely a bandwagon when a lot of these women come out and say like it's exactly like the Trump stuff with that one ugly girl that
Jean Carroll or
yeah, whatever her name was, that
Mm.
said that she brought him across the street to the other hotel that wasn't his own hotel. Like there's definitely bandwagon that happens, and I bet you all these women, but he's definitely done some stuff. And how you were saying, like a man, if a man says like, "Oh, I did all this shit, but I didn't do that," and all that, I can understand where you're coming from. Where like you're gonna probably believe that more, but if it's stuff that can't be proven in court, and he knows that, I would also deny that too.
yeah, anything to get a lesser sentence.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to go and watch this interview, see if I believe him.
So here's a question: do we
yeah.
think that the courts were ruling and acting fairly, or do you think that they were influenced by the morality of the time? I guess we'll say
or the media because he's famous.
Yeah, or like the whole Me Too movement or something like that. Do you think that influenced?
They
them?
were making an example of him.
Well, what's the statute of limitations on what he did? Because I'm pretty sure they changed the statute of limitations just for situations like this on that stuff.
Well, I mean, they changed it in New York for Trump too, so wouldn't be surprised.
That was the first time that they did that.
Well,
maybe
but
to that extent.
like I said, I'll have to go back and look back at that case. I don't know if they were if they treated him fairly or unfairly. I don't know enough about the case. Hello, Shitty Gov. Yo, Tyler and friends. Hello. I know this is the biggest. This is the first time I've had 4 people on a panel. So hello.
Wow, bro, they're really trying to hide what the statute of limitations on this is, dude. I'm sorry I looked it up, bro. I'm just trying to look this up for research. They're not get put on a list for this.
See, that's why you gotta have your material ready. Now.
5 years. 5 years statute of limitation on this.
And what was it?
State. Sexual assault.
So just.
And she came out almost like 10 years later.
And this is New York, right? So,
was it New York or was it L.A.?
It is now. Oh, it might be L.A. actually.
New
York is now 20 years.
Jesus.
It got changed in 2019. Well, now we'll
dude, I can't remember what happened 3 years ago. You want me to remember?
To go 20? After Trump.
10 years. 10 years in California.
Yeah, they want to go. They changed it so they could go after Trump.
I like how you look it up now, and it's just like, yep, it's 20 years. It almost makes it seem like it's always been 20 years.
But it's just normal. Yeah, just normalize it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, final thoughts on this before we move on, guys?
I'm interested to see how it develops.
As am I.
If he's a sleaze bag. He's a sleaze bag. But if he didn't do it, he didn't do it. And as a survivor of an assault, this kind of crap just boils my blood.
Here we'll do,
because it discredits actual victims.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Especially when it's like fake. That's when it's here we'll do it. We'll just for you, girl. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just as to my thoughts on this, if there are things that he's been accused of that he didn't do, then yeah, he needs to that needs to be wiped clear of his record. But if there are things that he did that were terrible, then yeah, call him out for it, punish him, give the proper punishments, whatever. But we never 100%. Want to accuse someone unjustly.
This is shocking to me. Alaska, there is no statute of limitations on sexual assault.
Oh wow.
Zero. Zero limitations.
Yep. Yeah, but the problem is that they're so backlogged on processing the kits, it's not even worth it. And so a lot of the assaults don't get reported up here.
It's always worth it. It's always worth the report, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the fear and everything involved with it, but it's something you have to do.
Yeah, it's a must.
It's a must. These people, like, even if it takes 50 years, this man's 80 years old. It needs to be known. It needs to be known. These people's names need to be dragged through the mud. It needs to, even if it takes 50 years, 100 years, the person's already dead. The case finally comes out, it's confirmed, name dragged through the mud.
I agree. Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts. I want to move on to our main story. This is a story that I've been very excited to talk about. Final thoughts. before we move on?
Well, I just want to say, sick of shitty gov. It's shocking to see how the diddler went down so hard and fast, yet still no Epstein clients charged with a child. Wonder why? That's because the reason why is because all the people that are involved with Diddy are famous people that have no real connection with true power of government. While Epstein, there's going to be tons of people that are oil tycoons. There's going to be a bunch of Saudi oil princes. They talked about it the other day on Timcast, I believe, where they talked about how there's going to be a lot of people where it's not illegal in their country, but they are scared of the backlash, and they're worried a lot of these Saudi oil princes, when this comes out, it's going to destroy a lot of relations with the U.S., and they're just going to start pumping oil, and they're going to just try and destroy the U.S. dollar.
It's funny you commented that, shitty gov. That was actually the primary story of the show today. Yeah, no, the whole reason we're not, I've said this before too, to Melton's point. He was reiterating what was talked about on Timcast. And yeah, the whole reason we're not getting the Epstein files, the whole reason we're not figuring out who's in the little black book and everything else, is because it affects both sides of the political aisle. It affects very powerful people, high up people in these powerful countries, companies, political government, just government in general. It would hit the top of the top people, and of course they're not going to snitch each other out, and then this is the point we were talking about when I did my call in a couple weeks ago, because I brought this up with Tim, because we're all talking about Epstein lately. What would have caused Epstein to actually kill himself? I think there's a lot of things that could have caused him to actually do it. I don't know if he did or not, but now we have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino again reiterating. I brought this up because in a congressional hearing, Kash Patel reiterated that he killed himself. He did, in fact, kill himself. So I've been talking about this. Did he or did he not? We now have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino saying he did. And I'm going to play some clips here of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. But let me just get your guys' thoughts. Like, do you think Epstein, is there a possibility, is there a chance out in the void that Epstein could have killed himself?
Yes.
Yes, there's a chance.
I think it's a slim chance, but there's a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
my thought on it is more of he probably did it with the assistance of somebody else, but he probably is like, all right, no, I'm not doing this, off me. Or
I
they
agree.
have the body double theory where they're like, yeah, it was another poor schlub. So, and he's off hiding somewhere.
I do like the idea of the Epstein didn't kill himself, like, quote, being a way of saying Epstein is still alive.
Yeah.
It's not a way of saying that Epstein.
I love all the memes of Epstein reading the Epstein didn't kill himself memes from his military bunker.
So let's be honest here. This is something that involves so many people that are in the higher up. This involves Republicans, Democrats, communists, Muslims, Jews, Christians. This
Conservatives,
involves
everyone.
socialists. This
Everybody.
this might involve MAGA people, bro. This is
100% it does.
This is where they all turn their heads together, and they all put the thumbs up, and they know exactly what they're gonna do here. They're gonna let the people that don't like to get their hands dirty and don't like other people getting their hands dirty are gonna close their eyes. They're gonna let the Clintons go in and do what the Clintons do.
Leak the files to James O'Keefe, say I don't know who did it, and let the world burn.
But no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that.
And Tim brings up a good point though. Like the Epstein stuff could be to the point where like so many people are implicated that it starts actual wars. You know what I mean?
Well, see, here's the thing: is not a lot of people are tying in the fact that Epstein and Diddy are very closely related because they do have overlapping clients. And so the lower hanging fruit are going to get picked first. The people who are going to be easily like, oh, hey, check this out, and hide it from the higher ups type thing. You know, they're going to definitely try to shield the crown princes and, you know, other dignitaries as much as possible. The fact that Prince Andrew got thrown under the bus is huge.
Well, that's because he had so many victims.
Well, yeah, but they had so much evidence against him, and he slipped up. But they also don't sit there and stop to think about all of them are tied to Hugh Hefner. all this stuff goes back even further.
It goes back further than Hugh. It goes.
Yeah,
It
well,
goes.
yeah, but Hugh taught a lot of the newer guys what to do. Hugh Hefner and Diddy had an underground tunnel linking their houses together.
Wow.
Well, so here's the difference that I see with the Diddy. Both are equally. I think Epstein's a little bit more wrong because that is more of children,
It's on a bigger scale.
It's child trafficking. While I think Diddy was more of drugging older women. Yeah.
No, Diddy had younger girls. Diddy had older girls. Diddy was running with Epstein.
Well,
Literally, they were tied together.
it was the difference that I see is that I think the Epstein stuff is so much worse in a way because he was legitimately trafficking these women, and
Diddy
on
was
the
helping.
Diddy was definitely helping. It's not they're both they both deserve life in prison, maybe a lethal injection, firing squad possibly. Purpose misses as well. We'll get 2 runs in with both of them. It's the it's the
I've already gone over on Outworld what I would like to see happen to all of these deplorable people. My stance has always been I don't call for violence, I call for justice. I want everybody to know what these horrible monsters have done. And then once we have all come to the conclusion, yes, these people have done these horrible crimes, then they have forfeited the rest of their lives and now they will be donated to science. So we will do all of our medical experimentations on them. They are free game. And then once they are no longer with us, they are cadavers.
Yeah. What did
Continuing.
what did oh my gosh, it was our vaccine dude that we putting all the Democrats were putting on the Jesus candles.
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci. You know how Fauci was doing those tests on beagles with flesh-eating flies?
Yep.
I think I found
test
some.
on him.
I think I found some new subjects for that.
I don't know.
exactly.
You guys ever hear about the maximum pain punishments they were doing on monkeys?
No.
Yeah. And
Dude,
all
so
of those
much worse than the beagles.
All of those tests would be done on them because they deserve it.
I think Fauci deserves it, bro.
Yeah, no, just for reference, Melted, that test I just mentioned, it was done on monkeys, maximum pain. It was nicknamed maximum pain. And literally the whole purpose of the experiment was to see how much pain they could inflict on something
before it dies.
Before it died.
Wow.
So they would try all different kinds of methods to inflict the maximum amount of pain before it would die.
Well, the thing is we all have so much different pain tolerances and everything. Like how
they take the mean. They run the same experiment on at least 10 different ones.
Why do we need the data? Hang on, wait. Why do we need the data?
It's obvious. It's pretty obvious what it's for.
What it is they're trying to see how much physical strain the body can withstand before it gives. And there are many, many different reasons why that knowledge is important.
Have you ever watched the show Blacklist?
Yes.
So there's a scene in that show where they have a old torture dude come into they have a dude, the hero of that show has a guy come in and torture a bad dude, and in it they pump him full of air, and they make the mistake of accidentally pumping him full of air too much and blowing up his blood vessels, and he dies. And it's the goal is definitely trying to figure out how far you can turn the knob on torture to get information out of people. That's definitely what it is.
So I do want to play this clip because we're veering off a little bit. So but I think we're having a great conversation. I just want to play this clip because I played the clip from Kash Patel in the congressional hearing, but this is him again in an interview next to Dan Bongino. Again, both of them saying Epstein killed himself. Let's see it.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work. You said
So, a lot of people are pointing out that Dan Bongino looks a little stressed. It is a word you could say. I mean, he looks like he's been awake for like 36 hours, and then he went to this interview. I don't know.
I think he looks guilty.
Think he looks guilty? Because I have this other clip that could add context to this. So I was going to play that clip regardless, but then I also saw this clip shared by Luke Rudowski on his comment. This is Dan Bongino 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, and then him now. Okay, so let's watch this clip, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I think he knows what the ramifications are. He knows what will happen if he says no, Epstein did not kill himself. He's got to push. There's going to be over this stuff. If what comes out is true, it's going to be massive global conflict.
It'll be one of the biggest scandals in history.
Huge changing of power. Huge power vacuums left all over the place. It'll be hell on earth, and I'm all for it.
Well, the fact that our government
TJ, you're muted.
You're muted, TJ.
Yeah, the fact that our government has already hidden the fact that they killed a sitting president to overthrow the presidency, I'm not surprised that they're threatening these guys and telling them, no, you can't come out and say it, because if you do, then literally everybody and anybody that you love will be gone. I can totally see that happening. I could see them also going in balls to the wall going, there's something here, and then it's a big nothing burger because they're not being presented with the proper information either. So who knows?
So, real quick, there are two different sides to this that we need to make sure that we separate. There's the whole Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and there's the client list and everything that was actually happening. And those are two separate, we'll say, conspiracies, right? And so I feel like in the 2023 clip, Bongino's sitting there saying, we need to push these people to release the files. And in the other one, he's talking about the Epstein killing himself. He's not in any way referencing the files.
Yeah.
And so what I'm kind of curious on is, now that these people are sworn into these positions, are they able to present information to the American people that is not, if they don't have the evidence at this time, are they allowed to say anything other than the official narrative? What is the legal ramification of that?
I don't know exactly what the legal ramifications would be.
Because as far as I can see, he's saying based on the information that we have available and that has been presented to us, this is the only conclusion. Now, that doesn't mean that that's actually what happened or that other evidence doesn't exist somewhere out there. It's just saying that we have to give you our answer based on the information that we have.
If the information is classified, they are by law not allowed to disclose it. And they have specific talking points and specific narratives to dance around whether the information is classified or not. And it's just part of their narrative that they have to run with. And honestly, just the way that Dan and Cash both are answering specific questions, that leads me to believe that there's something that they cannot tell us as of yet, and they're trying to tiptoe as kindly through the tulips as they can.
I want to see what they saw. The guest on Timcast was saying If they're because they're coming out and they're saying definitively, it's not like, oh, they have to toe the line. I disagree with that. They're outright saying no, he killed himself. But
He said, "I've
Well,
seen the file."
again, difference between the files and him killing himself.
Well, but that's what I mean, though. I want to see the evidence. Like, what is causing them to say this? If they're saying it so definitively, I want to see what they saw.
Wait, real quick. In your Twitch chat, ban that dude and report him.
I did. I get them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Should be auto banned, but whatever.
That's why they do that space for the .com.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's fine.
Okay.
It's just someone trying to get view bots. Anyway.
But here's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Imagine though. I can understand imagine you're head of that, you're Dan Bongino right now, and you're Cash Patel, and you come to this position that you honestly probably in 2013 never thought you'd be in, or 2023 you never thought you'd be in, and now you're being told, like, at the time you're like, we need to release this information, and now you're being told by Donald Trump or some people higher up than you, if this stuff leaks, this is possibly going to kill millions of people. This is possibly going to start like Armageddon. We need to hide this stuff. This is for the greater good of the future of every single country in the world. This is something that can change. Like, I can understand that fear, but you cannot live with that fear. The truth will set us free.
What's better? What's better in that situation? Let's go around the panel on that. Let's say the contents of this investigation would lead to World War III guaranteed, like nuclear World War III. Do you, as the person in charge of these files, do you or do you not release them, knowing that World War III will start? And if you do not release them, World War III will not start. There will not be a chance of World War III, just based on the files solely. Would you or would you not release them?
I would release it.
I would.
I have a different perspective because my grandfather was head of security for all three army bases up here growing up. So I look at it as a security measure. If it's not declassified, then you cannot release it.
I would say that
there are ways to go about the justice for it, but you can't release it.
You have to. It has to be released. No one is going to believe any of this stuff if these files are not released and shown.
We need full transparency. Yeah,
full transparency from our federal government. We need it now.
And so my logic is, you prepare for all of the contingencies of World War III, and you release them. And when you start to see, those people kind of just about to push the button, you follow your contingency plan to stop them from pushing the button.
So yeah, you're saying do it, but prepare.
yeah, just make sure that World War III is going to be as minimally damaging as possible. Like, you can't just throw it out there and be like, oh, wait, what? World War III is happening? No, you have to be fully prepared for all of the backlash that's going to happen. And you take care of the backlash. Like, you let the cards fall where they may, tell the truth and let the cards fall where they may.
Well, if you've, I don't know about you guys, one of my favorite movies of all time is Wanted. It may be because the main character is my same name, but that movie struck a chord with me with the line, kill one, save 1,000.
Yeah.
The whole point of that movie, kill one person. We have this magical thread machine that gives us names, and you kill that one person, we'll save thousands. In the end of that movie, you find out that the person that was weaving those threads was lying the whole time. Mm-hmm. That dude was the dude that was reading the thread. One day his name popped up and he hid that. And guess what? That just shows you these people in power will do anything and everything to keep themselves in power.
Yep.
Your name comes up, dude, and it's literally like Wanted, dude. Your name comes up on that list. You're gonna hide it.
Minority Report.
You're gonna hide it. It's like Minority Report.
If I was Dan and Cash, I would ruin my career over this. Like
I would absolutely.
You release it and get it out into the public, and if you get locked up for the rest of your life, so be it. If you go on the run and have to hide in Russia, like like Snowden had to or whatever, you go and do that. But like, this is,
what's the benefit of doing that and blowing up the whole entire investigation? when they're trying to
who's
actually
getting
go
charged?
after
Okay, that's
some people.
that's a valid point, because I've allowed justification for them taking longer than most people would like. I've allowed the justification that they are building cases against all of these people, and they can't just like throw it all out there and then then the jury is tainted or what have you.
I
So,
disagree.
This
I
is
disagree wholeheartedly.
wholeheartedly. This is not a 20-person jury we're talking about here. This jury is the world. This jury is going to be the world, and this is
It
what
is,
we
but
need
you
to straight. When we see these names, these people need to be rid of their power. We need to take their power away. They
that's the
need to be thrown in
problem,
prison
is
by the
you've got to
people.
be able to prove that
arrests
it's
need
these
to come
people.
first.
Wait,
and
so
then
hang
you'll
on, pause. So the notion that we need to prove we've had all the evidence. We've had it for years.
But that's the thing. Some of the
FBI's
evidence has been destroyed.
Okay, well,
Some of it's
and
been
we're giving. Wait,
tainted.
hang on. So that's the whole point, right? The longer we take to prosecute these people and bring the charges to them, the longer they have to destroy more evidence.
Mhm.
So we need to bring those charges. You can continue the investigation while the charges are being brought. It's completely ridiculous. I've heard so many people say this at this point. Oh, they're just gathering all the evidence. Yeah, you can do that after you charge the person too. You can do that mid-trial. You can do that after you've put them in prison. You can continue the investigation. The investigation never has to end. And because you're waiting to actually physically go and stop these people, they have plenty of time. You're giving them more than enough time to go and destroy the evidence that you could be finding.
But there's a problem with that because there are multiple people involved, not just one person. So
Yeah, and
you've got 5
FBI
and
has
6 and
10,000
7
hours of videos.
horrible people with a lot of money at their disposal. If you go after one and not the rest of them are going to scatter like rats. You need to be able to trap all of them in a bucket and get them all at once.
It's
so that's why I'm torn, because I completely and utterly am on your side. Let's
Just
go
make
after these little rat bastards, but I don't want any of them slipping through the net.
So to your
I
point, though,
don't
Nora,
want this
is
to
if they're
continue
wealthy individuals, right, and they try to flee, what you do then is, because we're the United States, you force every other country on the planet to immediately extradite them upon
But
finding
what
them.
if they're part of that other country? What if
Then
they
you go to
are
war
the
with that
government
country.
of that other country?
Yeah. What?
That's the issue. Is
I'm
they're dignitaries from all over.
I'm telling you.
So
if they can't go to Russia. Really not. Oh, see you later. They can't go. They can't go to Russia. I'm telling you, one of the people that I believe is not on these lists. As much I really have no hate for Putin. As much as I don't agree with a lot of things to do, Putin is definitely not one of these people on the list. I bet you if Putin had access to these files, every single one of these motherfuckers would be in jail. Every single one of these motherfuckers would be in jail.
Yeah.
It would be all of them. Putin would throw them all in jail.
I get where Nora's coming from. Like, obviously, if it is this
Get off
widespread,
the webcam, man. Get off the webcam.
Oh, your audio.
Get off the webcam.
There we go. Yeah.
There you are.
Is that the way I sound?
No, you sound fine.
No.
I don't know why that's my default. That's so stupid. Anyway, but exactly to what Melton's saying and what Nora's saying, let's say it is this widespread thing where there's let's say it's hundreds of high up level people, if not more. Yeah, obviously we don't want them scattering to the wind, but that's when you name these people, you bring the evidence that you have, and you round up the ones you can, and the ones that scatter, you hunt them down. So I don't think waiting. I don't think there's any proper justification for waiting. While I understand the point of view and the perspective, I completely disagree. I don't think there's any reason to wait at this point. We've waited long enough.
Because I personally don't want an innocent person getting wrapped up into it. Like, we were just watching Warrior in the server, and there's a scene where a Chinaman attacks the mayor. But he attacks the mayor because he's defending the mayor's wife that the mayor is now strangulating. So he's trying to protect the wife, and he ends up killing the mayor. And they arrest him, and a mob of vigilantes come out and hang him, even though that he was protecting somebody. They're like, no, you killed somebody. And so they hung him up. And I'm like, okay, well, what if an innocent person gets caught up in this mix?
How about this, Nora? How about we start with just the people that are on the 10,000 hours of tapes that they have? Because we know that Epstein kept blackmail on people. How about we just start with them?
Let's think here.
Because again, we've got to be able to nail him for every single crime.
No.
No, you get them on what you can.
We get them on what you can.
Well, that's the thing is, what if
think
they
about the
conspire?
mafia? We didn't get the mafia on all the people they murdered. We got them on tax shit.
Yeah, we got them on tax evasion,
because
bro.
they tried. You know that
That's what I mean,
times
though.
that they actually broke into Gotti's place to tap it, right?
But that's what I mean. Like, you go after what you can go after.
You go after what you can go after. You have to go after what you can.
But because of all those investigations and the way that they did it, they had to change the way that they're doing things now. It's on our laws.
And
Nora,
then you
how many more how many more years, Nora, until you're of the same perspective of Melted and I? How many more years do you have to wait?
No, that's the thing is I am for getting all of these bastards. I want them to be like I said, I'm not calling for violence. I call for justice. Every single one of these people hurt innocence. They took away an innocent person. They took away a childhood. I am not okay with what they have done. I want to make sure that what they are going to jail for and being experimented on is for every single thing that they have done.
But okay.
But I don't want a victim to be released. I don't want to take a chance of one of these little bastards getting out and being able to do it again.
But here's the thing. If
getting out on a technicality is going to be worse.
I know it's just not realistic.
So let's say if one of these people on the Epstein list messed with five girls, but they can only confirm 3, would you say no? We have to figure out the other 5 so they can stay out of jail.
No, I would want them to go after the 3, but the problem is that a lot of these victims will not come forward.
They will.
Let's say it's all on video.
If they won't come forward, they have a hard time with the case. This is what they're having issues with the Diddy case. Is they have all these victims. They know about it, but none of them want to come forward.
I've seen plenty of Diddy stuff where women are coming forward about Diddy. I've seen plenty of stuff.
But that's the thing. Now that he's in trial, they're all coming back.
Let's get these people on trial. That's what we're saying.
Get the trials going, get the evidence released.
But that's the problem is that a lot of these victims are pulling back because they're scared. They're being
That's
threatened.
because we're not doing anything, Nora.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. You're saying
but we
let's
have
not
a process.
do anything.
Melted. We have a process that we have to go
the process
through by
doesn't
law.
work. We know this process
I
doesn't
know,
work.
but again, until that system is fixed, this is what we've got.
I don't agree. I think we need to go after them now.
What you're saying is not to fix the system. But you have not said anything about fixing the system. You're saying that we're using the system now. So let's get
because
these
this
mother
is what the
effers in
system
jail.
in place is. If we had a perfect system in place, none of this would matter.
But we don't have a perfect system.
We
That's
don't
why
have
that's
a
why I'm
perfect
asking you.
system.
Wait, so Nora, you didn't answer though. So how many more years do we have to wait?
I don't.
Well, how many more years would you wait? How many more years can you wait?
I'll take that question real quick. I will say that if by the 4th of July we don't have any arrests or we don't have any information being released, I will condemn the efforts of Bongino and Cash.
I will say
a little bit more time.
I won't give them till the 4th of July. I will give them what Cash said. I will give them 2 weeks.
Well, he said arrest by summer.
Well, they said that they're going to be releasing information in about 2 weeks.
I want to see arrest in 2 weeks.
That information is, I'm reserving judgment until then.
I want to see arrest in 2 weeks. You have the info.
Here's a question. Here's a question for Melted. If we could make some arrests right now and release a bunch of information right now and maybe get 50% of the people who are, involved, we can get them locked up. But that's all we're going to get. Or we wait 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, we wait until 4th of July and then we get like 95% at least of these people locked up. Which option would you prefer?
I'd rather
wait a little bit longer to make sure that everybody gets locked up.
We get the 50% and then we hunt down the rest, dude.
No, but I'm in this hypothetical. I'm saying that because of the way that we went about it or whatever, there's some reason why
I'm still going. It's not a realistic hypothetical. I would still go with Melted.
What info? Do we not remember that Luke Gronkowski went onto the island literally like a couple days after the Epstein stuff, and there were no agents there trying to get any fucking info or anything? They did not care. They do all this evidence that they're saying like we need to find. It's gone. It's what we have is what we have, guys. No FBI agents were on that island. No federal investigation was going on there. Luke Gronkowski rode a boat up to there with no interference at all. No one was on that island.
Sure.
If that information, if we're looking for evidence and stuff, it's gone, guys. This is what we've got now.
But you still have to sift through all of the information that you do have.
There's no way we haven't. This has been going on for how many years now?
Oh,
No, there is
but the
plenty
old
of ways
FBI
because the
versus the new
government is very
FBI is
good
different.
about getting stuff and hiding it. They're very, very good about getting stuff and throwing it in the closet and saying, "Oh, we don't know where it went."
And now
So,
we have
yeah,
an administration that's going to actually look at the evidence instead of the old administration that's going to bury it all. You can't say that it's been going on for years when they just
Wait, no. So I'm with Melted on this. This has been 5 years. We've had access to every single one of his belongings. There's no excuse that you could give me to convince me that we don't have evidence to arrest him.
4 years.
2
But
weeks.
who's been in office for the last 4 years? I'm
Doesn't matter.
sorry, if you've got hundreds of thousands
Actually,
of
wait,
documents.
hang on. No, Nora, this is not a political thing. Again, this is not a who's in office, I don't fucking care. Donald Trump was in office when he got arrested, so there's no difference.
No difference.
Again, wait. So again, Epstein, the whole point of Epstein's operation was to gather information and gather blackmail on people. Once Epstein died or once he got arrested, the government had access to all of that. So
Yeah, but
to
it's the
say that we
people in
don't
the
hang on, pause. To say that we do not have evidence for at least more than half of the perpetrators is utterly ludicrous, and I just I reject it on its face. The government is controlled. No, but the government is controlled by these pedophiles. We know they're in the government. So to say that they're not behind the scenes making sure this doesn't get out is ridiculous, and that's why we need to go after them now, today.
But that's the problem, is that they are the ones pulling the strings, and if they're pulling the strings, they're the ones that are sweeping it under the rug. And if they're sweeping it under the rug, it is a lot easier for them to hide their crimes. So now that we have somebody who's going in and wiping all of this out, it's going to make it a lot easier to go, hey, these are the assholes who were hiding all this stuff. Let's get them out now. And why do you think there was such a mass exodus of people? Because they were fleeing the sinking ship on their end. They're like, oh no, we're going to get caught. And now they're getting people in like us that are like, okay, show us this information. Show me the facts. And they're digging. And honestly, I've seen firsthand what they do with paperwork that they don't want to know where it goes. They hide it in other files that are completely irrelevant to the case. They misplace
so hang on,
the paperwork.
Nora, I'm getting confused. You're talking about the government misplacing things, but you're saying allow them time to continue investigating so they can misplace things?
But because we've got different people in place.
It's not all the different people.
Okay,
there are people
all right,
in there that are
Melted,
still...
hold on a minute. Hold on.
Let her finish.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm saying is we've had bad people in place. You've got to get rid of the cancer first, right? Yes, we're cleaning house. In order to do that, we have good people who are going in who actually give a shit, who want to fix it. So let the people who are actually wanting to fix it, give them time to fix it. Give them time to go against these bad people who are supposedly saying, oh no, we've been doing this for years, and they haven't.
And I think that's what this whole conversation is about the timeline. It's like you guys are saying we want it now. We're saying we want it when it's ready. You guys don't believe that. Hold on. You guys don't believe that it's ever going to be ready because it hasn't happened in the time frame that you think that it should happen in.
No, I don't think it's going to happen because there's still cancer in the government, and I don't think it's ever going to get rid of that. And I think they're still hiding files. And I think the longer this goes on, the more shit's going to get hidden. They need to get this shit out now. It needs to come out now.
Again, I just want to reiterate, guys, we're talking about something that happened 5 years ago. This is 5 years Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, and there's no one that has been charged. It's ridiculous to say that, oh, just keep waiting. Yeah, we've been waiting this 5 years. We've been waiting for 5 years. Who else can get arrested and have wait 5 years for charges to be brought against them when it's something so blatant and heinous? They literally have 10,000 hours of video. Pam Bondi talked about it. They're going through 10,000 hours of video. Maybe the last administration or maybe the Trump administration decided not to go through it for whatever reason, and now they're just getting around to it. But still, that's ridiculous.
Tyler, do me a favor and look up how long it took the federal government to prosecute John Gotti after they had him on racketeering charges.
But did they hold him in
From
prison?
start to finish,
They
it was
held
over
and they
7
held
years.
him and they held him in prison that whole time.
Yeah, and they
They hooked up
had
with
Epstein in prison, but he never got his day in court because he
But
died.
we're talking
we're
about
not
what about
talking
all
about
these other
Epstein.
people
We're
on
talking about
video?
all these other people that they have.
But again, they were only going after Epstein, and now they've got to build a case to put all these other people in jail. There are processes that have to be met in order for it to be legal. They just can't swoop somebody up and just go, "Oh, we're arresting you and throwing you in for no reason."
We're not saying
You
to
can
do that.
only
We're
hold
saying
somebody
that.
for
Hang on,
72
we're
hours.
not saying to do
never
that.
said
Nora.
that. Never
said that.
We're
We're saying that we
case.
that Epstein was gathering blackmail on people that would be evidence to their crimes. What we're saying is take that stuff that Epstein already had gathered up nice and neat for us and go after these people. And if
But
we don't
again,
have all
it
the
was not
evidence,
obtained
cool,
legally.
don't charge them, just keep them in prison.
That information was not obtained legally.
What?
They
There-
did
you-
raid. That was legal.
That was legal.
The raid was legal, but some of the methods that
evidence.
Epstein was doing was illegal. And so if the US government uses it, there are loopholes that these little rat bastards are going to use in other countries.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, not at all. That's not how that works. Blackmail can 100% be used against you in a crime. It can if someone's blackmailing you, and then you're like, this person's blackmailing me. What are they blackmailing you for? And you say that, you are going to be arrested for that crime.
Gotcha.
That's kind of the whole point. These people don't go to the authorities, by the way, is because if they go to the authorities and be like, help, this person's blackmailing me, they're gonna be like, oh, what are they blackmailing you with? And it's gonna be like, oh, a crime. So you're both screwed. That's why they do it. It's like, hey, you have
But
dirt on
again,
me, I have
there
dirt
are
on you.
processes that they have to follow.
And we're talking about the people that are committing these crimes, right? We're all in agreement that they're the ones that do these processes. So
horrible
we're
people,
waiting for them to
yes.
fix the process. I feel like we're just going in circles.
Yeah, well, it's just like we need to fix the process, but we need to also wait longer time for them to set up this process. But we need to change the process. So when the process gets changed, none of the shit that we did for the work for this process we have now is going to matter because we're going to switch processes anyway to get these guys. So it's not going to matter anyway. We just need to do this shit now. And everyone forgets about Ghislaine Maxwell. She's in jail for 20 years. What's she in? She's in jail for trafficking children.
She was trafficking to nobody. Trafficking to nobody.
Apparently to
remember that.
nobody. Yeah, apparently they have all this evidence of her trafficking women, but to who? Dude, there's no one else arrested in this for who she's trafficking these women to. What?
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, so I want to get final thoughts from everybody. Maybe you guys could talk about this more on Outworld Live. I'm going to be sending everybody over there. I would love to continue the conversation. Maybe I could have you guys on again in the future, but I do have to get ready for work, unfortunately. So I want to go around.
Get ready for Outworld.
Yeah, and you got to get ready for Outworld. So Nora, we'll send you out first because I know you got to get ready for Joey. Final thoughts on the show today or on the topic, whatever you want to say, share. Floor is yours.
Go outside, touch the grass, and hug your loved ones because there are evil people in the world, and evil will always hide in the shadows. So stay in the light.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Nora. Thanks for coming on. It was great having you on. I appreciated the debate. That was probably the most intense debate I've had on the show so far, so that was fun.
And first time Nora and I think, have been on stream anywhere together, so I appreciate hanging out with you. It was fun.
There you go. Cool.
Yep.
All right, well, Nora,
Later.
go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you on Outworld.
Bye.
Well, I'll be watching from the audience, though, so goodbye. And then Melted, final thoughts.
Oh yeah, I think the truth will set us free, and we need. If it burns this shit down, bro, we will rebuild from the ashes. We will rebuild even stronger. That's what we have to like a phoenix from the ashes, brother.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. We need to do this shit now. We need to get it done fast and quick. It needs to be done right. I agree, but it shouldn't be taking 15 years for this shit to happen. It can't. It cannot take 15 years. This shit needs to go through now.
Yep, I agree.
Just a quick counter to that real quick. We have to think of it as the Bongino and Cash era and of the FBI and not the corrupt era that took place all before. That's
I like to be hopeful, TJ, but one of the first major statements they come out and say as soon as getting into their position is saying that Epstein did kill himself.
Well,
So I'm not so hopeful.
How long was this interview? Like, I don't think that they came out specifically just to make this statement.
this was actually because of the statement, because Cash recently said that's why I was talking about this. Cash recently said in a congressional hearing when asked about when they're getting the Epstein stuff released, he said Epstein killed himself and the files will be released.
Admittedly, I will say that it does feel weird to hear them say those words.
Absolutely.
The only caveat that I have for that is that I'm not sure that they are allowed to express their personal views in the positions that they hold. They have to stick to what the evidence says. And hopefully they can prove themselves wrong because I don't think they believe what they're saying. They're just forced to say it. And that's different than a gun being to their head. That is a litigious process that requires them to parrot the narrative, which is disgusting and I hate it. Yeah. But I think that they're just saying that based on the evidence that we have, this is the only conclusion. But real quick, final thoughts on the whole arrests are coming kind of concept. I'll say that nine women can't make a baby in a month. Things take time to happen. And like I said, 4th of July, if there's no arrests, no information release, I will condemn them. But I am trying to give these men the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm naive.
2 weeks.
But, I mean, hey, let's have this conversation again in 2 weeks and kind of see where we're at, see what two looks like. You know,
I'm down. We can have that conversation again for sure. Because again, I'm glad that we had it was a little bit of a 2v2 there. As TJ and Nora melted in, because I mean,
I was keeping my mouth shut and Nora was taking the brunt of it.
Nora was taking the brunt of it, and Nora did good there. I wasn't trying to talk over Nora, but I think Nora did have a little bit of a delay on her mic. I'm not sure, so I was trying to give her room to speak because I did like the disagreement, but that was good overall. I definitely think we should come back in maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, and revisit the topic.
I do struggle with letting people talk because I feel, I know where I feel like when I hear people talk, I know where they're going with things, and I talk over people. And I guess a lot of other people don't understand where other people are going with things when they talk, and that's just
I have the same issue.
That's I like when someone starts talking about things I know a lot of information about. I know exactly where they're going with it.
Their thought process. You know what information they have. They have and they're sharing. Yeah.
The way that Tyler just interrupted melted right now
because we both know what we're talking. We both know what we're saying.
We know exactly. Me and Tyler are pretty like with our other content, bro, we interrupt the shit out of each other all the time while we're talking because we know exactly what we're about to say. Yeah.
Well, we have to if we want to get a word in edgewise. I mean, I could talk a lot, you could talk a lot. TJ's sometimes sitting there in the wing like, oh, Tyler interrupted me again. Like, I'm sorry, TJ.
I mean, count the eye rolls that I give because there's so many times where I'm just like, okay, I guess I don't get to speak today. Thanks,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you gotta talk over him. Say, fuck you, Tyler. This is my stream.
You need the better mic so I could hear him.
Yeah, put that phone whenever you want to talk, bro. Just put that phone up to your mouth, bro. just
anyway, I want to go make some. I want to go make some food. So, Melted, where can we find you?
I'll probably be on Outworld Live today.
You're gonna go over there. Are you going over there right now, or?
Yes.
Okay. Well, head on over there, and then I'll let TJ give his final thoughts.
Peace.
All right. Peace out, Melted. Good conversation.
See you, brother.
TJ. Let's get this up for you. Wait, here we go. Bam.
Hey.
Wait, you get the stage. There you go.
Oh man, full stage just for me. I appreciate you. Yeah, it'd been a hot minute since we were able to do this with your work schedule and whatnot. With me going to swing shit or to graveyard, I'm hoping that my time won't be as limited, but there might be some days, some afternoons that feel like mornings to me. Might not be able to make it, but I'll try to be here for you. It's always fun times, and I appreciate you having me on. Might be able to be here tomorrow. We'll figure it out.
Hell yeah. Well, like I said, I don't work tomorrow, so I'll be here. If whoever I can get to show up tomorrow. If not, it'll just be me. But cool. Thank you as always, TJ.
See you, brother.
All right. Peace out, TJ. All right. There we go. So that was the show today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. That was a really great show. I loved the debate. Super interesting topic. That's why I titled the video the way I did today. That conversation went on a lot longer and was a lot more heated than I thought it would be, but I loved it. That was great. And I look forward to having more of that. I look forward to having Nora, Melted, and TJ on again in the future. That was a great show. Again, thank you guys. Like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm going to send you guys over to Outworld Live with Joey Cannoli. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, be sure to head over to Rumble and go over to Outworld Live. I am raiding in the Rumble chat right now. Everyone watching on Rumble, I'm gonna send you over to Joey. Tell him I sent you. Anyway, thank you guys. Peace out. Sending you over there right now. Here comes the outro. Where is it? Oh crap! I didn't even put this up. There you go. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Outro. Where is it? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. If you thought that was a great video, great live stream, great whatever you were watching, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you're watching. Hit that follow, subscribe. And if you really want to support me, you could always share the video and comment down below. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Thank you, and peace out.